Okay, so I'm currently outside. I know this is usually a different vibe from my usual videos, but I'm on my phone and I don't have storage to really like record myself on my phone, so we're just gonna do a voice memo. Um, I just came outside. I was honestly bed running. I went to class today, cooked some stuff. Uh, then had one more class. Came home, kind of rotted. Doom scrolled for a little bit. Got up, showered. Okay, laid back down. I was gonna fall asleep because honestly I'm really tired, and I do tend to take naps after class. But this time I was like, no, I'm not gonna do it, which was so hard. Um, but we made it through. It's 8:20, and it's Monday, July 13th. Um, I have made videos. I just haven't made really a voice memo in so long. And I guess I just want to talk about how I feel right now. I'm finding myself sitting here and actually realizing how at peace I am. I think I wouldn't say finally, rephrase. I wouldn't say finally. I think I'm seeing myself and noticing myself get to the point that I've so been craving for, and I think this is the peace that I've been seeking for so long, and the emotional intelligence in myself, where I have noticed that I know how to go about this now. I'm not saying I have the answers to every single conflict, every single situation to my life at this moment, but I feel like lately I've learned to handle a lot of my situations within myself correctly. I have been able to really internalize and fixate on the problems that I have within myself and what I have around me. But not just to dwell on those things, but to acknowledge and honestly give it grace that it's happened to me, because it's made me who I am today. I've been able to really pay attention to how I react to certain situations, emotionally, physically, and all around, just mentally. I used to always find myself getting myself really down when I found myself in miserable situations. In situations where I knew I deserved better, but I didn't want to move on from it or talk about it or do anything about it. And I think it's because, I know it's because I was just not ready to face the uncomfortable of actually healing and moving on from situations. I have been able to set boundaries with myself and others, even though they hurt, and sometimes they do annoy me when I have to set obvious boundaries to people that I meet or I have in my life. I feel like my patience has been tested a lot, still is till this day, but I've watched how I responded, and for a really long time. And I know it wasn't even that long ago where I really lashed out with all of my feelings and how I was. But I was able to control myself kind of in the aftermath of what I did. I lashed out basically. I really lashed out not too long ago. I got angry really bad, but the way I handled the situation after, I will say I'm proud of myself. I went to go distract myself in a good way instead of going to smoke or, going to entertain something that I know isn't good for me. I I was so pissed off that day. I literally took myself to the gym and I spent 3 hours there. And I hate the gym, mind you. I hate the gym. But I showed up. I'm not still going to the gym. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not. And holy stutter, that was a bad one. But yeah, no. I'm not still going to the gym, but I will for sure say I'm still growing. I've reached a point where I really am able to study a situation and know that I either deserve better or I need to take action on it now. Because if I don't, I will stay stuck in this cloud or in this hole. And I was in that hole for a really long time. And I don't want to be in that hole. For a while, I spent so much time either trying to convince myself that my dreams are crazy or they don't really sound realistic, or honestly, I'm just too young to even achieve the goals that I want to achieve. And I feel like that played a really big part for me, considering like at school I am the youngest student there in my class. And when I first got there, I found that very intimidating. I felt kind of, I don't want to say behind. I don't think I'm behind. I used to think I was behind, but I'm really not. If I really think about it, if I'm behind, why am I the youngest one there? There's people in that class that decided to join culinary because they either wanted to try something new or they either finally decided to chase for what they wanted, or some people just got bored of their lives and wanted to do something with it for their free time. For me, I'm really pushing myself for this dream and for what I want. And for whatever it is, if it's to be an influencer, to at least motivate people, to speak life into people and also to myself, or is it to be a professional cook? Whatever it is, I know in God's plan that He is guiding me there every day. And even through the struggles that I'm going through, even through the little stumps that I have in the processes of me moving forward or me getting to that goal, I need to acknowledge, instead of so much being so hyper fixated on the goal, I should be acknowledging and giving myself grace for the fact that I'm even pushing myself to the goal. I'm ignoring the chase to the goal. I'm ignoring the fact that I should be happy that I'm there. I'm getting myself there. And that's honestly so beautiful, the fact that I have been able to push myself even when I didn't want to show up, even when I didn't want to go, even when I told myself this is dumb, or even when I wanted to give up, I still pushed myself. It was hard, yes. I've had times where I don't even want to be in the places that I'm in, and I just find myself so easily agitated because I feel like, or I felt like, there was no point of doing any of this. But I truly feel like even if I fail or win, no matter what path I take, at the end of the day, within God's timing, I will lead to what I really truly want and what makes me happy and what He knows will be set out for me in a good way. I don't know if I'm gonna fail in this journey that I have. And maybe I will, or maybe I won't. But I know that it'll be all worth it whenever I find out. And I'm just glad that I at least have certain people in my life there to cheer me on and still be there. Even when sometimes they don't even realize that I'm going through something. They know something is up with me and they still just reach out and show me love. And I appreciate so many people that still go out of their way to support me when I go silent or when I'm the loudest. And that just shows me who really, really does care for me. I don't want to say like I finally figured out the blueprint of life, because then again, I don't know everything, but I feel like every day I'm getting closer to my goal. I'm getting closer every day, and I'm pushing myself every day. I'm continuing on deciding to love even when the world sometimes doesn't want my love. And I want to say that's so beautiful. That's so beautiful that through the whole mess that I was in mentally or socially or around me, I made it out, and it made me grow. It made my mind grow. It made my spirit grow. It made my love grow. My relationship with God isn't as close as it used to be when I really was studying and all that. And I used to shame myself a long time about it. I felt like I wasn't deserved of love. I felt like I wasn't worthy. I felt like I shouldn't have been forgiven. But who am I to judge myself? Who am I to tell myself that I am not worthy of love when I am? I know what my intentions are in this world, and God knows what my intentions are. Who am I to judge anybody? Who am I to judge myself? I've learned to be at peace for who I am and how I love, and if even people don't want to reciprocate that energy, that's completely fine. I can't make people love me. I can't make people like me. And that's just how life is. You can't make people like you, make people want to love you, make people want to be around you. But just appreciate the people that are with you, no matter what. No matter what era, no matter what stage you are in life. The peace that I feel right now, I think it's the peace I've been seeking for a long time, where I'm clear-minded. Yeah, I still make mistakes here and there. I acknowledge them, though. I don't dwell on them like how I used to and just condemn myself and just think, just because I already committed the sin, just because I already committed that mistake, there's not even any point of asking for forgiveness or just reaching out or trying to improve myself because I already did those things. But no, I'm not just going to easily give up on myself because I made one mistake or a couple mistakes. I need to learn from them and heal from them. I need to learn from them, acknowledge them, and improve from them. Not just stay in the same hole, same mindset, and just think it'll pass. No, it's not going to pass if I don't face it head on. I have to face the uncomfortable to eventually be comfortable. And that's something that everybody knows. Everybody at least that knows me, that I hate having to deal with my problems head on. And I feel like I found myself to be very empathetic, if that's the word, yeah, about things that happen in my life, because I'm not going to lie, the moments where I should have spent time healing, I was so out of it. I was so high all the time that I didn't want to face anything that I was going through. I was so hyper fixated in everybody else's lives because I didn't want to even focus on my life. I was so quick to give everybody advice on what they should do, but I wasn't listening to my own advice. I didn't even want to give myself advice because I felt like I wasn't worthy for it. But now I know I am. I'm going to continue to love the way I love forever and always. It's going to come with rejection, and it's going to come with reciprocation. There will be people that are going to reciprocate my energy, and then there's going to be people that are going to reject it. And that's fine. But I'm never going to let that change me again when someone rejects it or mistreats it or takes advantage of it. I'm never going to let any of those type of situations change who I am. And I'm not meant for casual. I'm meant for something more. And I know deep down I'm meant for something more. And I feel like when it plays out to me putting boundaries on people that I have genuine care for, but I always used to tell myself, maybe they're going through something, give them the benefit of the doubt. But I'm not gonna lie, if me having to heal and put boundaries and shove people to the side, kind of, or at least distance myself, if that comes out selfish, I'm sorry, but I gotta put me first. I'm finally being able to deal with my stuff head on, and I'm kind of done dealing with people's bullshit. Sorry for the language, but I'm done letting things slide. I'm done trying to let people play in my face. I'm done trying to let people think that they could just get away by mistreating me and my love for them or my genuine care for them. I found peace within myself, knowing that even if I'm alone forever, I know that I have God to love me and myself. Yeah, sometimes it'll drive me crazy. Yeah, sometimes I'll be like, damn, I wish I had somebody, But at the end of the day, even if I have somebody or I don't, I'm going to be the one to still be there for myself, and God is. So I shouldn't even depend on my happiness on others, because the only person that truly deserves all of that is me. And that might come off as selfish, who knows? But I spent years not giving myself that love, and I feel like it's time for me to be stupid selfish. And if that causes me to lose people, so be it. I spent too much of my life worried about others and worried about making others love me, when I should have been worried about making myself love me. I'm ready for whatever the world's going to bring. If it's heartbreak, if it's death, if it's love, I'm ready for it all. It's going to be hard, yes. It's going to be scary, yes. But I feel like one day you'll figure it out why you went through all those things. To finally let go of that anger and resentment that I have towards everything and everyone, to the people I have lost physically, to the people that I have lost in my world, to the people that have left me, to the people that have hurt me, to the people that have claimed to love me, but really nothing they showed me was love. I gotta let all of that go, and I'm finally ready to let that go, because I don't want to be miserable. I don't want to be carrying that hate. I don't want to be carrying that sadness, that resentment, that ugly feeling in my head where I think that if I don't even think I deserve love from God, what makes me think others will? I don't know if that makes sense, but what makes me think that I deserve love? And I used to tell myself that, but I do deserve love. I do deserve love. I deserve a lot of things in the most humblest way possible. I think I do. But I also think I do know I have some, I don't know if it's debts to pay. I don't know if I'd say karma, but I definitely do know I have some things to learn down the line. Some things maybe will happen to me where I've probably done it to others, or maybe I just accidentally did, but I'm learning. I'm learning not only for myself, but I'm learning for the next experience to come. I don't want to project my pain and hurt into other people because I assume that it will all end the same. It's different. And I feel like right now what I've been learning recently, these type of lessons that I've been learning, is that I should never back down on what I truly believe and what I truly want. And no one's going to convince me otherwise that I deserve casual. If it's either you're going to love me or you don't. Love, I don't know when love's going to come into my life. I don't know if it'll be soon. I don't know if it'll be never. But I do know that whatever love I get, I should just appreciate it. I'm talking about friendship-wise, relationship, or family-wise. But appreciate it if it's good love. Appreciate it if it's love that's feeding into my soul, my energy, my spirituality, my faith within myself and within God. I want love that's going to make me feel enlightened. Love that makes me feel like even through my darkest times, I still have someone there. And so far, only that's been God. Through this whole mess of friends, relationships, family, strangers, to seeing people in pain, to seeing people cry, to seeing people happy, I've seen that God has moved through me to motivate others, inspire others. I did not only just start this podcast or this show or this YouTube channel just for me. I started it because I wanted people to know that they're not alone. In the sense where maybe you're not going through the same thing I am, but maybe you could pick up on a little bit of things that I say, because who knows, maybe you are going through that or something similar. My mom likes to say this generation is very sensitive. I don't think we're sensitive. I think we're just getting more emotionally in tune with our feelings, because back then they couldn't talk about their emotions. And I'll be damned if anyone tries to shut me up about how I feel or how I view things or what I believe in. I've noticed I've found a lot of good joy in the way I feel when I speak life into others. Once I care about someone, I care about them head on, and I will motivate them even when they don't even feel motivated themselves and they don't even think they can make it. If I see potential within people, I'm going to make sure they see the potential from another POV so they can understand that if I see it, why don't you see it? Don't stoop yourself down because you think your dreams are stupid or unrealistic or dumb or just not worth it. It is worth it. Literally, you could do anything if you put your mind into it, if you really fight for it. If you're hungry, and I feel like not a lot of us are hungry nowadays. I just had that conversation with someone not too long ago. And I feel like y'all are. But y'all are, you're too scared to eat. You're too scared to eat. I was too scared to eat because I was too scared of failing. But failing is going to happen. It just depends. How are you going to go about it when you fail? What are you going to do about it when you fail? Where is that going to lead you? Where are you going to redirect yourself when you fail? You know? And when you win, appreciate that win. Give yourself grace for that win, but also give God grace for that win, because look how far you have come, to the point where you know deep down this is what you wanted all your life, or at least something that you wanted for a really long time. I'm really excited to where my future has to bring. I'm ready. I'm ready, and I know by me saying that, God's going to give me some difficult trials and errors, but I know what He does, and I know how He works in mysterious ways, but somehow, at the end of the day, I find myself in situations like this where I got to think, and the road will always lead to you coming back to God and thanking Him for how far you've come. And that's something that I just want to sit back and always appreciate. I just want to see people win, but I mainly want to see myself win. But I want my people to come up with me and win with me. I'm going to make sure of that too. So thank you, God, for even keeping me around when honestly I thought I was going to die. Not even do anything to myself, but I was in situations where I definitely should have died. And I didn't somehow. Somehow I didn't. And I made it through. I made it through the moments where it felt like they were lasting forever in misery. High school was really hard for me. I feel like it was really hard because either the people that knew me back then didn't know what I was going through, and they judged me off of it. And I thought those people would have my back, but they didn't. I felt, in high school, I just felt very either pitied or not understood. I found myself being very angry towards everybody because no one seemed to understand what I was going through. I'm not saying everyone deserves to know what I'm going through, but it was just hard for me to really go about on how I wanted to create my circle and how I wanted to act. And unfortunately, the emotion that I chose to act out on was pure anger. I felt like since people were already being mean to me, I had to be ugly back. And I even hate that version of myself. And it's so crazy because I made friends. I made a very particular friend around that era in my sophomore year. And I'll always appreciate her because she met me in the most ugliest moment, I could say, at least for myself. One of them. Freshman year for sure, the ugliest. But I had a friend group that really distracted me of my situation. Yeah, I was still doing the same little bad shit that I was doing before, but they never made me talk about it. I felt like they hung out with me. I felt like they were there for me to get my mind off of what I was going through. And I will forever be grateful of that friend group because I was really going through hell around that time. And then my sophomore year, I met a girl named Yuri. Oh my gosh, how I love Yuri. How I love Yuri and her sister. Truly. Winter, what a beautiful name. I felt like she took a leap into still being my friend when I honestly didn't want to be her friend because I knew I wasn't where I wanted to be. It was so weird. Like, I remember talking to somebody and I told them I want to make that girl my friend. And then he was like, well, why don't you go do it? I was like, because I feel like I would be a good friend. I feel like I don't want her to be around me with what I'm doing right now. And at the time I was smoking and I just didn't want, I was involved and I wasn't fighting or anything, but I was definitely involved in the drama. Um, and, um, even despite all the rumors that I had, despite all the drama I was in, she still became my friend. And even though sometimes I'll just go to class and I'll be like, I'm high as fuck, like, or just talk about my situation, my situation that I had, or just anything, she always listened, and she didn't judge me. She didn't judge me like the way everybody else did. Despite hearing things about me, she still decided to become my friend, and I'm forever grateful for the fact that she still decided to be my friend. And I feel like that was one of the hardest moments for me because I felt so alone. So alone. And then junior year, it didn't get better. I mean, yes, me and her, our relationship did get better between me and her, but school didn't. It got worse. And I remember one day, like, I was just telling my mom, like, I wanted to move, but I didn't want to move at the same time because I had Yuri. And I was scared of moving again to another school and having to start all over again. And I remember just lightly bringing it up and like, I was thinking about it, like, like, what if I just moved? And I remember she was like, hell no. Like, she was just first like, no, don't do that. Like, why would you move? Like, no. But I remember her looking at my face because she knew every day I'd go to school and I'd cry. Walking into that school felt like hell. Every day I would smoke before I'd go to the bus, so I would show up really high. I'd fall asleep in every class because I didn't want to be there. I was constantly in drama. I was constantly known as this girl that was just doing bad things. Either, I'm going to be honest with y'all, either I was cheating or I was getting cheated on. I was a bitch or I, wasn't a bitch, or I was always getting high, or I'm always in the drama, or I'm ghetto or something. It was just always something, and I felt every day like I was just in this ugly hole, a repetitive hole, and I couldn't seem to get myself out of it. I didn't know how to. And finally, when I tried to prove to everybody that I wasn't this bitch that everyone thought I was, it just like, I don't know, I really cared about what people thought about that time. And I guess because I really cared, because it was taking effect on what I really wanted to do at this new school, I felt like that my main thing was like I wanted to move to that school and start fresh, start new, make friends. But I was the most loneliest ever. It was such an ugly feeling, the way I felt every day. And I remember when this conversation about me moving schools, when Yuri looked me in the face, she goes, you know what, you should move. And then I was low-key offended. I was like, why would you say go move? Like, you do not want to see me anymore? She was like, no, like, I'm telling you to move because I can't see you like this. That's what she basically said, that she couldn't stand seeing me every day so sad and so depressed of my situation. So I one day just decided to leave. I just left school. No, I didn't tell anybody. I just completely left. Obviously eventually people found out, of course, but it was hard. And then my senior year, oh my gosh, my junior year was a little bit hard. Junior year was a little bit hard. I was getting myself situated. Had a little goofy interaction with somebody. But I wasn't gonna let that ruin my new slate. I met a lot of nice friends. I met a nice friend group. They were sophomores at that time. But gosh, they were the most funniest girls. They were so shy at the same time and closed off, but also so funny and so welcoming to me. They would see me sitting alone with my headphones on. Funny thing about me, I've always been a headphone person. Like, if you know me, you've seen me always with my headphones. And if you know me from elementary, you knew I always had those headphones because I couldn't pay attention correctly. I use my headphones because of noise cancellation. I use them because I literally don't want to hear you. And I just never could have focused, so I always had my headphones on. And also listening to music was just a big thing for me. Like, I felt like music was my way to express myself. It still is. But they just approached me one day, and then I don't even know how it came about, but I just started hanging out with them from there. I remember the day I realized they looked up to me like if I was their school older sister, and I remember feeling so loved because I remember I had the same feeling when I was in high school my freshman year. Especially Mitch. Mitch is my best friend. And I know me and her have our trials and tribulations, but my love is never going to go away from her. I just want the best for her, forever and always. But she's been there since day one, and even she wasn't even the first person that I met in that situation. We just gradually made ourselves to be closer. She has made a way for her to come to my sister's mass every year or do something for me and my family, and I just deeply appreciate that because it shows how much she truly loves, and she's a big gift giver. That's her love language. That's Mitch love's language. And with her, she's always been a good listener in my life. The way she's always been so attentive. The way she has always given me the vibe that she is like my bigger sister. And if for some odd reason, I've always prayed to either have a loving older sister energy that I've always wanted, or to become an older sister. I've always wanted to be an older sister. So if by my sister dying and my nieces coming to me and confiding in me and coming to stay with me in my house, and then by them calling me their bigger sister, if this is God's way, by him taking my sister from this earth to give me these role models in my life, then I'm so grateful. Because not only that my sister's not in pain, that I am able to give my nieces the older sister love that I've always wanted. But I've also been able to meet the people that have given me a younger sister vibe that I've always wanted. God really truly works very, very interestingly, but I respect what he has going on for me in my life. My senior year was probably the best year in high school I ever had. I was in no drama. I was a leader in the club. I was able to share my testimony for the first time. But it took me almost a year to share it because I felt like I wasn't ready. But if I'm going to be honest, I feel like no one's ever ready, like truly, to share the testimony sometimes at least. Because I feel like your whole life is a testimony. You are a walking testimony. I am a walking testimony. And till this day, if I would ever be able to repeat my testimony, it would add more and more. More would be added to my testimony because every day I'm growing. Every day I'm learning more about what God has done for my life and appreciating it, but also taking pride in it. I made friends. I lost friends. It was just a good year for me, and I think I ended it very strongly. It went by fast. I was definitely scared for what the future would bring, but look where we are now. And I wasn't even going to go to school in the way, and it's so crazy because I wasn't really going to go to school. I did not want to plan anything. I did my FAFSA the last week of school when I was about to graduate. And it was a lot. It moved very fast. After that, it was like a blink of an eye. People went their own ways. I went my own way. But it led me to where I am now, and I will forever appreciate that because all of these situations and all these people that I've met have left some type of impact in my life where I have either learned from it, I have either created a good relationship with them, or they were just an experience that I had to come across by in my life and just eventually walk away. So I'm really grateful for where I am. And I guess if you want to consider this a part of my testimony, kind of, then we could. But that's basically just how I feel right now. I feel very like that. Like, I just feel like I can breathe. I feel like I don't have to be scared anymore of whatever trials and tribulations it's going to come about my life. I'm with it. Literally, bro, I'm with it. I'm with it all. Like, and I'm ready for it. I just gotta keep on pushing. And I'll be damned if I allow myself to get how I gotten back then. I'm too good for that. And you're too good for that. Whoever's listening. Even if it's just one listener or 5. You're too good for that. Don't stoop yourself so low. Because there's people out there that are putting you up there, that are rooting for you and have so much faith for you. And there are people out there that are hoping that you win. But there are also people out there that are hoping that you lose. So tee up. Tee up and show them who's wrong. Show them who you are. Show them who you can be. Show them who you want to be. Because if we don't got haters, then we're not doing it right. Literally, bro. Like, that's how I want to think about it. Like, if we don't got haters, then we're not doing it right. We're going to have some haters. We're going to have a lot of people that love us too. So, continue doing you. Continue pushing on it. And, yeah. Don't stress about the little things that are out of your control. Whatever happened, happened. Whatever's happening is happening. So what's next is, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to dwell on it? You're gonna cry on it? Are you gonna take out your anger to the world on it? Are you gonna give up on it? What are you gonna do? Are you just gonna stop there? Give up? No. Don't give up. The fuck? Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm literally getting hyped up about that. Like, because there's so many people, and I'm talking to myself as well. Like, don't don't let don't let no one see you lose, bro. And at least if you're gonna lose, then pick yourself back up. And if you already lost, then pick yourself back up. Because if you don't, then literally no one else will but you or God. And we gotta start somewhere. So, but yeah, y'all. This is my fruit for thought, I guess you could say. I think this is a really good message. I really hope it is. I feel it in my heart that it is, so I'm gonna release it. I've had a lot of videos in my drafts that I have not edited or released because something just didn't feel right. But I like this one because I feel like everyone needs to hear it. So, yeah.